And brothers and sisters, I'm telling you today, it's no longer our time to sit back and wait. Don't wait on something that ain't never come. Don't wait to go to Bible studies, to go to Sunday school. You waited until you get right, or you waited until you find a perfect place to go. Don't wait to assemble yourselves among other Christians so we can learn from each other. Iron sharpen iron. Don't wait. I'm not going over there to that church because I'm waiting on a perfect church. But let me tell you something.
What's that?
If that's what you're waiting on, and if it's possible for us to find one, as soon as we walk into it, it's no longer perfect. Because none of us are perfect.
Amen.
Only God is perfect. So we can come as we are and let God change us because we can't change Him. We can't change Him.
That's right.
Some of your next blessings are going to be tied to your proactivity. Step of faith. As long as you're sitting around talking and waiting, let me tell you a secret. It won't happen. Your blessings won't happen. Matthew 14, the disciples is in a boat. You remember the story? In the middle of a storm, Jesus approached them walking on the water. Remember that story? When they saw him, they thought it was a ghost. But Jesus said, "Be not afraid. It is I." Peter said, "Lord, if it's you, bid me to come where you are." If that was not Jesus, Peter was going to be in a lot of trouble. He figured, let me see for myself. And he wanted to get a word from Jesus. And he said, Jesus said, "Come." That gave him the authorization to launch. At that point, do you know how Peter was going to experience his miracle? Only if he got out of the boat. He would have never, ever experienced a miracle unless he got out of the boat. Even though he only lasted for a while, but he experienced the miracle. For you to experience God's power in your life, you must get out of the boat. You meet people that theorize about raising children. But when you have children of your own, you no longer have a theory, you have experienced it.
Come on now.
In productivity, you have to get out of the boat. Some of you right now are in the boat. But when you leave this service today, you need to get out of the boat. If you know you have been prepared, and you know God has given you that little unction inside of you, but sometimes it comes as a Mary in your life to give you that last little push to get you out of the boat. It's important not to hesitate. time. There is a season that is more and more of us in the family of God must get used to. It is the season of understanding that the will of God does not end with us. Did you hear what I said? The will of God does not end with me, with you, with none of us. We are in a process that started on the day of Pentecost, and God has people hand down the faith ever since that day to other generations. Some of us has not caught that vision yet. We are not the end all of anything. We have a role to play. Our job is to pass on what we have learned. There is no success without successors. Unless there is someone coming behind you that can take what God has done for us and take it into the next generation. Paul wrote to Titus, and he said, teach the older men and women to teach the younger men and women. The things you have heard of me, commit them to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. The words that we hear in Sunday school, in Bible study, in the sanctuary, from preaching, from sermons, we are to take that and teach it to the younger generation. It's not for us to grab hold of and hold on to and tell nobody about it. True enjoyment in life comes only as we follow God's guidelines for living. Our job is to pass on what we have learned. Pass on what we have learned. Remember, when life gets tough, when you are overwhelmed with doubt, when you wonder if living for Christ is worth the effort, remember, death is not the end. Death is not the end of you. Death is your transition into eternity. Your transition, my transition into eternity. And remember this, and we'll close. At death, we won't leave home. We will go home.
Amen.
God bless you. May God keep you. And remember, if you do not have God in your life, and you want the opportunity to serve that living God, don't hesitate. God has been preparing you, preparing all of us for years. Now it's time for us to act. Today is the day of salvation. Not tomorrow. Don't wait, because it's not promised to us. Take your time. Trust in the Lord. If you want to be happy, he said, trust, then obey. Because there is no other way to be happy in Jesus unless you trust and obey.